Hey everyone, welcome to the April Field webinar. We are so glad that you are joining us for this special time together. And we have an exciting program in this hour, packed with some great and encouraging things to share with you, including our special guest, Dr. Ron Wexler. With him, we'll take a deeper dive into understanding the history that's led to this current conflict in Israel. We'll gain some insight into US and Israel relations currently, and also we'll understand where Israel leadership is at currently in navigating these challenging times. But before we jump into all of that, if you're joining us for the first time today, I want to ask you a question. You probably are asking this question yourself. Who is Bridges for Peace? Our mission statement says that we're Christians supporting Israel and building relationships between Christians and Jews in Israel and around the world. Currently, we serve over 24,000 people in Israel through a variety of practical projects. We have education that is going out through our 8 national offices around the world, and we have 2 language resource centers. Our focus to translate our material into Russian and into Spanish. And if you want to learn more about who Bridges for Peace is, we would encourage you to stay till the end of this broadcast. We'll tell you more. But before we move any further, let's talk about some fun facts. They say that Israel has the most startups per capita in the world, and it's only second to Silicon Valley in tech innovation.
Pretty cool.
It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
The Waze traffic navigation app was also created later and then bought by Google, but it's amazing to know that comes from Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
And a synagogue with space shuttle art in Beersheba. There's a synagogue whose stained glass windows depict the Columbia space shuttle, honoring Ilan Ramon, Israel's first astronaut. And then, we might have to double check some of these things, but apparently cows in Israel produce more milk than anywhere else. Israeli dairy cows are some of the most productive in the world thanks to high-tech farming, some tracking, and some pampering.
That's amazing.
Those are some happy cows.
Just talking about all these things, I think one thing I want to say is you need to check it out for yourself as well, to research these facts. It's just some fun things that we came across and thought to share that with you, but go and check it all out yourself as well. Also, we know for sure that the cherry tomato has its origin story in Israel. It was not just popularized over there, but Israel scientists at the Hebrew University literally helped develop the modern sturdy cherry tomato in the 70s. And every time we go to the grocery store, I just want to say,
we enjoy those.
When you pick up those cherry tomatoes, may it remind you of Israel and to pray for the nation.
Yes.
We also have some exciting announcements to share with you. We want to talk about the G. Douglas Young Legacy Society. And for that, we have Andy Benedict to share more with you.
Hello, my name is Andy Benedict. I am the Planned Giving Manager with Bridges for Peace, USA. I hope you had a meaningful Passover and Holy Week celebration. Now, in this season of new beginnings, we are counting the days to Pentecost. We are also counting down to the start of something new for Bridges for Peace, USA. This summer, we are launching the G. Douglas Young Legacy Society in memory of our founder, G. Douglas Young. The G. Douglas Young Legacy Society is an honorary community that recognizes donors and families who have included Bridges for Peace in their estate and gift plans. As a member, you join an exceptional group of individuals who are committed to ensuring the legacy of Christians and Jews working side by side for a better understanding and a more secure Israel. You will have access to special events and communications like webinars and newsletters, and you will receive a welcome gift box that includes a handmade Israeli ceramic plaque, a biography of G. Douglas Young, and a tree planted in Israel. We invite you to join our founding members who have already planned a legacy gift through a will, trust, or other planned gift. Have you already included Bridges for Peace in your plans and wish to learn more about membership in the G. Douglas Young Legacy Society? Or would you like more information and ideas on how to include Bridges for Peace in your plans? then contact me through phone, email, or through the G. Douglas Young Legacy Society page on our gift planning website. Blessings to you and yours.
And now we're so excited to introduce you to our special guest, Dr. Ron Wexler. He has a wealth of knowledge, experience, and committed work in U.S.-Israel relations, Jewish-Christian relations, and he's involved in leadership on both sides to address regional challenges focusing on the economy, natural resources, and conflicts. I could take the rest of this hour to speak about his work and commitments, but we are happy to hear all that you have to share with us today. Dr. Wexler, thank you for being with us in this exciting time. Welcome, and thank you again.
Dr. Wexler, thank you so much for being with us today and making the time to share your knowledge and expertise with us. We really appreciate it. And with that, I want to ask you the first question. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about your background and your work in Israel and the USA? And then how long have you known Bridges for Peace?
Well, I can't claim that I know British for Peace since inception. I wasn't there when it took place, but I met the people at Bridges for Peace in Jerusalem in 1994.
Wow.
And literally, I fell in love with the name Bridges for Peace because I am a bridge builder between Christians and Jews. And all I do is for the sake of unity, harmony, and reconciliation. So the name by itself attracted me. And then when I got to know the people behind, I decided to devote a lot of time and help with everything that I could. At the time, I still am involved in bringing Christians to Israel, and thank God I was able to bring over 100,000
Wow.
to Israel over the years. That's over 40 years now.
That's
and
amazing.
everybody that came to Israel got to know Bridges for Peace. And there was a donation also involved in the visits. So I know them for quite some time. I saw them in the ups and in the downs, and I think it's one of the greatest organizations in Jerusalem. And
Thank you.
despite hardships and tribulations, they are still working strongly and doing the right thing.
Thank you. We definitely are trying and giving it our very best, and it's truly an honor to stand with the Jewish people in Israel. Can you maybe share a little bit more about your background and specifically your work in the US and Israel to give our viewers a bit more of insight of what you are involved with?
But we'll need more than an hour for this, but I'll give you briefly. I have an organization. I have a company that I'm, well, the principal owner of the Heritage Study Programs. It's a tour company that takes people to Israel, specifically Christians. As a Jew, I was brought up in Israel. I was born in Israel. I was raised in Israel, served in the army. To me, Christianity was anybody who is not a Jew. Anybody that goes to church is a Christian. I didn't know much about Christianity. I remember when I started my work to bring people to Israel, I started to study theology. And I realized that the government of Israel knows very little about Christianity, and they treat every Christian or believer in Jesus Christ as one. They did know the differences between denominations, even main Catholicism and non-Catholic people. They really had no idea what this is all about. And I decided to study it and learn because I had some open ears in the Israeli government, always. And I did that. And I remember one time, long time ago, I think it was in the late 70s, I was in a television studio in Chicago, Illinois, and I was invited to be a guest on a Christian program. and next to me was a rabbi. His name is Ezekiel Eckstein. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know me. He
Yeah.
spoke a little Hebrew. I speak Hebrew. What are you doing here? And we became friends. He explained to me what he was doing, and I told him what I'm doing. At that time, evangelical Christians weren't known as lovers of Israel, as we all tend to feel that it was always the case. And through events like Yechiel Eckstein, may he rest in peace now, and events that I created, we brought Christians together. And
Wonderful.
soon after that, I created an organization called the Millennium Council towards the end of the millennium. And that brought some of the top pastors and church affiliated groups to understand better what Israel is for them. And I created a study program called the Heritage Study Programs and offered everybody who comes with me credits in colleges and universities that
Okay.
were open to that. And
Wonderful.
it caught fire right away. And we had many people who came supposedly to have credits, but not only. We had people from all walks of life, and those universities that participated in order to give the credits were not just Christian universities, but all kinds of universities, and it worked very well. So that was my beginning in bringing people to Israel. That, as I said to you earlier in the program, by now more than 100,000. I am a solution giver. So the government of Israel, since they started to realize that I can create situations whereby the unachievable could be achieved, asked for my help. And slowly, I became a mediator to a certain degree. I know everybody in government. Most people in government know me. I don't wish to know some of them. They probably wish they didn't see me because I'm not embarrassed to put people in the right place. Over the years, we created huge programs. I was involved in the creation of the Christian embassy in Jerusalem from the
Wow,
inception.
interesting.
I was there when the first official tabernacle took place, that they have managed to bring to a tremendous heights. I later on created my own feast of the feast of Pentecost that created tremendous movements in Jerusalem that followed through. God gifted me with the ability to write, so I wrote a few plays, actually musicals, that close to the end of the last, I think in 1998, when everybody started to talk about the end of the world, the Y2K, I came to the government of Israel and he said, what plans have you got for the Millennium celebrations? And they said, not much. I said, look, the whole world is looking for and gloom. I created the Millennium Council that the reason for its creation was to come to television stations and radio stations every time they bring the Y2K and tell them why Y2K cannot take place because God had decreed it not to be. And I had some of the biggest names in Christianity, and I convinced the government of Israel to allow me to do what's known today as Jerusalem 2000. And that was not a celebration that lasted from 11:59 to midnight of the year 1999. It was a whole year of celebrations to show that the world is not coming to an end. And with people known to Bridges for Peace in Jerusalem, I was managed to create those musicals based on reenactments of biblical accords, such as Redeemed on the Sea of Galilee, such as the Book of Ruth, just outside of Bethlehem, such as Miracles on the Jordan River, the real musicals. and brought actors that I found in different churches, from choirs in different churches in America. I was invited to come to speak almost every Sunday in another church, and I noticed the good voices. And I said, would you mind if I bring you to Israel for a week, two, maybe a month or two? Because we were going to have it for the whole year. And I created, with help of people in Israel, a cast second to none.
Wow.
Second to
That's
none.
amazing. That's
And
amazing.
tens of thousands of people came to Israel to celebrate the millennium, not on the day it started, but for the whole year. It was an amazing event that took quite some time. And that was a huge achievement. I won't bore you with too many things, but the last thing that I've done, when the Ten Commandments were thrown out of public square, especially when the judge in Alabama was told that he has to remove them from his courtroom, I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Oral Roberts University. I was there for the reason of trustee gathering. And I said, why don't we do something here? My very, very good friend, Dr. Miles Monroe, who was like a brother to me, and we were partners, and I put together a statement, and the Ten Commandments Commission was birthed. The focus of this was to have a date on the calendar in the United States called the Ten Commandments Day.
Wow.
And I'm glad to tell you that we passed two resolutions, one in the House, one in the Senate. Unfortunately, the election, when Mr. Obama became president, he kind of nixed it, but certain states adopted it, and today we see in Louisiana the result of that. So it was very well designed and put together. And I remember that by fate I ordered 1 million pins of the Ten Commandments and gave it in every church. Everybody that supported the idea received the pin. Cost of $1 million, by the way. That was well invested in the heart and soul of the people.
So good. Dr. Wexler, thank you for sharing all that. It's just amazing to hear just about the journey you've been on and the work that you have done. And I know it blesses our people to hear that as well. I want to ask you regarding the Palestinian situation. And I want to ask if you would just go back in time a little bit, detailing the history of that, of the Palestinian situation and all that is going on now, because I think a lot of people today in the world look at what happened at October 7th, and that's where this whole conflict started for them and what they see happening forward, and they judge everything from that point forward, and they make their decisions on what they see from October 7th, 2023 moving forward. But actually this has gone way back. That's been a massive build-up to that specific horrific day and all that took place and everything since. And can you maybe give us a bit more of insight on the Palestinian situation and then with that tie in anti-Semitism?
Well, I'm very glad you asked me this question. I think it's important for the audience to understand what's going on. And I believe that most people don't even understand the issue of Palestine, Palestinian refugee. Well, I think I can talk freely about Palestinians. I don't know if you can see it clearly.
It's blurring it out. Oh, there it is. British passport. I see it now. Yep, we see it.
You see the bottom? It says British passport, Palestine.
Wow.
Land of Israel. It was issued in the 30s to Mr. Israel Wexler.
Wow.
Who is my father. So
that's amazing. I'm
a Palestinian because my father was a Palestinian. So what the heck are we talking about here? What is this? What these people can tell about Palestine, Palestinians that I can't? What rights
That's why I'm asking you the question. I want to know what you have to say.
right here. It's interesting that you British, I guess you from England, right?
No, I'm actually from South Africa, but we're part of the Commonwealth, so we know a lot about the British.
Okay. All right. So in 1923, Minister of Foreign Affairs in London, by the name of Balfour, came up with a declaration. It was after World War One that ended in 1918, and way before Israel was created, and also way before the British started their mandate. Did they say he actually gave it before Britain became the custodian of Israel to the mandate given to them after World War One. If you read that declaration, the Balfour Declaration,
Yeah.
and you compare it to another declaration that was given 2,500 years ago by King Cyrus of Persia, you wouldn't believe the similarities. Even the
Interesting.
boundaries. Lord Balfour told the Jewish people that they have the right to their own land, and even defined the boundaries of the land, which coincides today what Israel is, even greater in size than that. When it took place by King Cyrus, and Ezra and Nehemiah of the Bible came to Israel and realized the difficulties they have there to reestablish Israeli Jewish community because of the exile. It's
Yeah.
similar to what happened almost exactly to a T, what happened in the beginning of last century when Jews started to come back to Israel. Ezra, who was the scribe of King Cyrus, asked him for a copy of that declaration, and he got it, went back to Israel, and convinced everybody that they're on the right side of history. Lord Balfour gave the same declaration to the Jews, to Chaim Weizmann, that was the first president of Israel. And he came back to Israel, was offering a big help to the visionary of the state of Israel, Mr. Herzl, Benjamin Herzl, who out of nowhere created the first Zionist convention in Basel, in Switzerland, and Jews started to come back. But I don't want anybody to think that there was no Jewish community in Israel for 2,000 years. There are always Jews living in Israel. And
That's
even
very important to bring that up.
Mark Twain writes in his book about the communities that he saw in Jerusalem, that the majority of the people there were Jewish people. And that's before any of the grievances that we hear today about Palestinians. So you ask yourself, what did really happen? So Jews started to arrive in Israel after Herzl created that movement and yearning to go back. And as somebody like you who's familiar with Jewish prayers include the yearning of coming back to Israel every day. When they wake up in the morning, they say, well, next year in Jerusalem, not only in Passover, all the time. So Jews started to come back. Jews had it difficult throughout the world. The Inquisition in Spain wasn't the only Inquisition. Jews were expelled from every country in Europe at one time or another. The only country that was a little bit less hostile to Jews was Poland, and that's why the concentration of Polish Jews made it so easy for the Nazis to destroy them in one place, because they concentrated in a place where they were allowed a little bit more freedom. And they lived there for many, many years, 1,000 years of Jewish community in Poland. But they were expelled from every country. So when the green lights supposedly arrived, they started to come back to Israel. After World War One, and the British government got their mandate to manage Israel, through pressure of Arab population in Israel that wasn't greater than the number of Jews that lived in Israel, decided to maintain a quota of how many people are allowed to come to Israel, Jews.
Mm. Mm.
And they actually stopped Jews from coming to Israel. Towards World War II, people that knew what's going on in Europe realized the fate of the Jewish population in Europe. And
Yeah.
they tried very, very, very hard to bring Jews to Israel. So
Yeah.
the immigration needed some help. The British government did not allow it. So illegal immigration of Jewish people to Israel started to amass. Arabs
So,
didn't like
so
it.
just want to ask a
Arabs didn't
question.
like
So,
it.
sorry to interrupt, but I do think it's important for our audience to know that it's quite a bad situation at that specific time. If you're thinking about Jewish people were not allowed to just move to Israel, and the Holocaust was looming to actually take place, and what the Nazis wanted to do, and there was no way out to go to their homeland during that time. It's terrible.
It's terrible. If you could see better this passport, I'll see you. I could show you visas of entries and exits of my father in 1939. And you
Wow.
ask yourself, what does an Israeli Jew doing in Europe in 1939? And some of the visas have swastikas on them.
Wow.
Swastikas on them. And you say, what is Israel Wexler, my father, is doing there?
Mhm.
He never talked about it. I heard it from his friends after he
Interesting.
passed away. He was a member of what they called Mossad B. Mossad B was created to find escape routes for Jews from Europe to Israel.
Wow.
And at the same time, the British government is not allowing them to come to Israel to
Yeah.
escape certain death.
Mm.
Not only that, but those who were stopped were put in jails and concentration camps
Mm.
outside Israel. There was a big concentration camp in the island of Cyprus that
Mm.
tens of thousands of Jews were put there after they escaped the
Mm.
atrocities of Nazi Germany in Europe. Those who wish to see a movie, a Hollywood movie, mind you, should look for Exodus. You know, it
Mm.
tells a
Mm.
story about the people who actually were in this camp. Okay, so Jews do arrive in Israel and do settle in Israel, not the big number as we were hoping for, but they did manage to come to
Mhm.
Israel. The Arabs, the Arabs fought them tooth and nail, and there
Yeah.
were pogroms in Israel. Jewish people were massacred in the city of Jerusalem, in Bethlehem, in Hebron, in different places. And the Brits didn't know how to handle it. In a
Mhm.
way, they did not side with the Jews. They sided with the Arabs for a simple reason. Oil was good,
Mm.
and Arabs had oil. Mind you, not
Yes.
the Arabs in Israel, but the Arabs in Israel were supported by the big countries that had
Yeah.
oil. And the Brits did not help the Jews at all. World War II is over. And I might say that despite what I just told you about the British government, there were people in Israel that, in order to learn how to become soldiers, volunteered
Mm.
to fight together with the armies of Great Britain against the Nazis in Europe. So
Mm.
they could learn the art of war that would serve them later on in the war of independence in Israel. Everything was thoughts. Everything was in design, and God had
Yeah.
control. God had control.
Yeah. Amen.
The Germans were very close to enter Israel from the south, and God stopped them. We had people who were in control in Israel, government in exile, sort of, because it wasn't our country. The Brits still controlled everything there. And the idea of creating an independent state called Israel
Mm.
And it wasn't to create a state called Israel, because even in 1933, they
Yes.
said here, government of Britain, Israel.
Wow.
So that's not a new name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could show this. This is an important document. I wish I could use it going to the airports today. So,
Yeah.
Mr. David Ben-Gurion insists. Those who don't know, Mr. Ben-Gurion was the first prime minister of Israel.
Yes.
Insisted to declare an independent state, knowing 100% that the moment he says that he declares the state, a war will erupt the next moment, not by the Arabs who live in Israel, not by the Palestinians, but by the Arab neighbors with major armies. And Israel did not have an army because the Brits did not allow us to have weapons. They did not allow us to train. They did not allow us to create our an armed force that could stand against those invasions of 7 different countries. This is why I said that some volunteers went to fight with the Brits in World War II to learn the art of war. Now, who were we afraid of in Israel? The Palestinians? No. Who were the Palestinians? There were a very small number of Palestinians. Who were there? When the Jews started to arrive in Israel, the beginning of the last century, to everything we spoke about moments ago,
yes,
they didn't know how to walk the land. It was foreign to them. They weren't allowed to own land in Europe. So there were accountants and there were tax collectors and there were all kinds of things that didn't make them very, very beloved to the rest of society. So when they came to Israel, they needed help. They needed hired guns. Well, not guns. They needed hired people to walk and teach them how to walk the land. Who came? Like today, we see in America, people try to come from South America to work in farms and in the ranches. People that came to Israel came from Syria, from Jordan, from Iraq, from Lebanon. Why? Because there was money to be made.
Yes.
The Jews came with money. They were willing to pay for the teachings of how to walk the land, and they hired help that they had. And slowly the Arabs settled in the land. If you ask them then, who are you? They would definitely tell you, we're Iraqis, or we are Syrians, or we are Jordanians, but they wouldn't say Palestinians because there wasn't such a thing. The only people who were real Palestinians were the Jews who lived there, like my father. So now you have a situation whereby illegals claim to be legal, but not at the time of the war, the independence war in Israel in 1948. In 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the late prime minister, announced that there would be an independent state, and the next day, a war started. As the Arab legions started to move into Israel, and we talk about millions of people living in these countries and hundreds of thousands in the armed forces, very well equipped against Jews that hardly have weapons to defend themselves. We hardly had anything at all to defend ourselves. What would be the outcome of this war? The whole world knew that it's going to be the end of the Jews. What Hitler started in Europe would end in Israel.
It's almost like they say that
However,
if you look on paper, you don't see how Israel can win this war because the odds are so stacked against them.
Right. So now the Arab legions, different armies from different sides, from all sides actually, are converging on Israel. And Israel, literally with sticks, will stand against tanks. And the Arab leaders of these advancing armies told the people who lived in Israel that were non-Jews, the
Mm.
Arabs, if you want to be alive tomorrow, because it
Mm.
wouldn't take long, then move out of your homes, come to our side, sit with us till we annihilate the Jews, till we take away all the properties, and then you go back.
Mm.
So at
Mm.
least half, if not more, of all the Arabs that lived in Israel at the time listened to the advice and moved out of their homes in Jaffa, in Haifa, in all the cities, and moved behind the advancing armies into areas declared Palestinian refugee camps.
Mm.
It wasn't that Israel pushed them away, it was the Arabs inviting them.
So good for people to know that.
Lo and behold, lo and behold, God is in control. And
Amen.
without really any support from, I shouldn't say that, there were Gentiles that came to help Israel. There were Gentiles who were even generals in some armies that came to train and to be
Mm.
helpful. There are many, many stories. We don't have the time to talk about them. But there were people. We just like in World War II, there were Gentiles that saved Jews from certain death, risking their own lives and their families. There were people that came from America and South Africa
Hmm.
to help
Yes.
Israel at the time of need and fought shoulder to shoulder and even
Yes.
smuggled, the little weapons that we needed. And at the end, we won the war. We won the war.
Miraculous.
God
Amen.
is totally in control then, now, and in the future.
Yes.
So
Come on.
now
Amen.
we have what you call Palestinian refugees
Mm.
living in areas that are not held by Israel. Why?
Yes.
Because at certain point during the war, there was an agreement for a ceasefire. We'd stop the war. The joke is that the boundaries were marked on a map
Mm.
with a green ink, and that's why they call the border the green border.
Hmm.
And that
Wow.
border separated those Arab refugees that were asked by their own people to save their lives and come to be with them
Yes. Yes.
from the other people in Israel. They were given an opportunity by the first prime minister of Israel to come back and reclaim their houses. Their leaders told them, if you do so, we will take you as traitors, and your fate will be like the fate of the Jews eventually.
I'm
So,
talking under
out of fear,
correction. Sorry, I'm talking under correction here, but I do believe that is actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's a video of David Ben Gurion actually saying that on video, that he's inviting them back to
absolutely,
take it. Yeah.
absolutely. Everything I'm telling you now, or the audience, is verifiable.
Yes.
None came back. Now, you expect that now living among their own brothers and sisters, speaking their own language, worshiping their own God, they will immerse in societies
Yes. That's the
and
thinking.
become citizens of Jordan, of Syria, of Egypt, in the case of Gaza, in Egypt, in different places. But it didn't happen.
Mm.
So how do you invite your own brothers and sisters to escape, what you consider to be a dangerous situation because
Yeah.
of a battle, and not allow them to immerse in your societies and become citizens and give them all the rights? It never happened until today. Never happened.
Can I
Why?
ask you a question on that? Would
Because
you
it didn't
say
fit the agenda.
it's like they're being used as pawns and they're using this people to fulfill the agenda that they have in place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Otherwise, how can you explain that third, fourth, fifth generation
Yeah.
is raised as Palestinian refugee in an Arab country.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is it possible? It's possible because the United Nations sided with their ideologies and support those refugees financially. So I believe that there are some refugees that are probably 200 years old by now. They never died. They never been taken out of the lists. Because
Wow.
why? When Yasser Arafat, the leader of the Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, died, they found $4 billion with a B dollars in his bank account. Where did it come from? He never worked a day in his life. So it came from support and financial help that came from an organization in the United States, building of the UN, called UNRWA, United Nations Relief Agency, that was created only for Palestinians, as if there are no refugees anywhere in the world. There's only one refugee group, and they are the Palestinians. So obviously, it wasn't a good thing to let it go, because it's a moneymaker. It's a cash cow. That why killing it? It's the golden goose, you know. So it's still what was right then to get money is true today. And UNRWA now with the war with Gaza is found to be members of Hamas.
Yeah.
So how many more words do you need to hear to understand that this whole notion, this whole idea of Palestinian refugees is fake? However, we live in time of social media, and you don't need to have webinars that last half an hour. All you need is 30 seconds. You can tell me how many people can explain at Harvard or Columbia University, what does it mean from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free? What does it mean? Do they know? Do they know what river? Do they know what sea? But it's a slogan. Somebody is pushing it.
And they've actually asked some of the people in the crowd.
Is pushing the student.
They've actually asked some of the people in the crowd, and they said to them, "And what does it mean?" And the students that's actually chanting that could not even say what it actually means. And there's actually evidence of people being involved in that, not even knowing why they are doing this.
I rest my case. On the other side, the people who stayed in Israel, they didn't adhere to the invitation in 1948 to leave, remain in Israel. Yes. So there are Arabs in Jaffa, there are Arabs in Jerusalem, there are Arabs in Haifa, there are Arabs in all these mixed cities in Israel. They have all the privileges that I have in Israel. They're having all the rights and all the regulation apply to them too, with the exception of going to the army. And this only shows the beauty of the Jew, of the people of Israel, not making an Arab go to the army so he may find himself at war with his brothers and sisters who did not agree with him. So we feel that this should not happen. So we exempt them from service unless they want to, and then they volunteer. And there are some that do volunteer. But that's a story. That's the story of the Palestinians.
In the government as well, Israeli government, I think about close to 20% of the government is Arabs, correct?
Yes. Yes, and we have a free election. We have free elections in Israel, and they serve in the Knesset, which is the parliament of Israel, and they have all the rights. They carry the same documents that I do. There's no distinction. It doesn't say Arab or Jew. Just the same. Just the same. Yeah. And some of them live without any agendas, but some of them are being manipulated too.
So insightful, Dr. Wexler. Thank you for sharing all of that. I know we are short on time here. I know this is what we just said we won't do, is go the social media route and make short answers, because you cannot explain all of this. Can you maybe just quickly touch on the United States of America and Israel, and where do you see that relationship is at currently, and maybe name one of the biggest challenges that needs to be addressed at the moment?
Well, I don't think there was ever a better time between Israel and the United States as it is today. Israel depends on America, and America depends on Israel.
Yes.
The inventions of Israel are serving every facet of life here in America.
True.
You see it with a cell phone now; it's probably has something to do with Israeli invention. So it's great, and Israel is the ears and eyes of America in the Middle East. Always
Yes.
was, by the way. And I think in the future, Israel will not become the 51st state, far from it. Israel is a country of the Jew,
Yes.
and it doesn't have to
Amen.
be attached to any other country. But the relationships are incredible. Everybody in Israel love America, support America, and even though in the last, well, let's not go into it. It's too political.
Would you agree in saying that one of the biggest challenges we've seen surfaced from October 7th moving forward, even here in the USA, is the battle against anti-Semitism? I think that is something that I think it's surprising to even see the rise of that in the US, and how that has been pushed and funded in the USA even.
Well, anti-Semitism is almost as long as history itself, you know?
Yes.
If you see in the book of Esther, when King Cyrus asked Haman, why do you want to destroy them? He said they're different. That's it.
Yeah.
Didn't have to say anything else. So anti-Semitism always under the surface, never disappeared, never went away. But from time to time, it needs a match, to light up, or gasoline to light up a big fire. And that's what's happening today.
Yeah.
And with social media, short slogans that nobody understands, well-funded and always there.
Yes. I want to ask you specifically, with having close relationships within the Israeli government, and what we are hearing, and there's even the talk of there's a disunity sometimes that's been brought up, and they're not on the same side. Where do you assess the Israeli leadership is at currently with all that is going on?
I pray every morning, and the majority of my what I concentrate on is peace among the people of Israel, because we can handle the outside, but we seem to be almost powerless to handle our own situation. The problem is we have kidnapped people in Gaza. And we have to fight with one hand tied behind our back. And that creates situations that are unbearable, and I can understand both sides. But I better understand the need to bring it to an end in a decisive way. Any world war that was won was not won by discussions or treaties. You have to bring your enemy to its knees and surrender without any questions. You got to be absolutely right about your winning situation and defeating the enemy. So I don't want to say something that would be interpreted in the wrong way, and I don't want to take side, but this is what needs to be done in order to win. Appreciate
your answer. I want to conclude our conversation here by maybe asking you, can you mention just what you are currently, is there a current project or so that you are working on that will interest our people to know about? And is there a place where they can actually see more about that?
I don't know if they can see more about it, but in recent years, I took to Israel almost everybody in Fox News. They were my guests, from Judge Janine Pirro to Hannity to Tom Homan, everybody.
Yes.
And I would like to take about a year time to put it together and to have a summit in Jerusalem, a weekend in Jerusalem with all these people that have been with me with Israel, who already showed their willingness to participate, and bring some of the people in the government of Israel and invite people from everybody in the United States to be a part of the event. That's a dream I have. In the meantime, I help my brothers and sisters in the IDF, the Israeli army. I was a fighter, and first I help my brigade, but I help everybody else as well. So I'm going next month with a group of people here. Came back just couple weeks ago from another visit. Helping, helping, blessing, holding hands, go to hospitals, visit soldiers who are coming back from serious injuries, have barbecue with those that are in the front lines. This is what I do, and this is what satisfies me.
Wonderful. That's so good to hear. What's your favorite place in Israel?
My home in Tel Aviv.
Wonderful. I just had to ask what that is, and I won't tell the audience where that is at, and I'll keep it a peaceful place for you to enjoy. But Dr. Wexler, thank you so much for your time today and the insight that you've shared with all our audience here. I know everyone has been blessed by listening to you. It's very insightful, and I want to let you know we stand with Israel and the Jewish people, and we are Christians that love and support the nation of Israel, and let you know that you are not alone. We are with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I know it. And I return my love to you, to the audience, to everybody who is Israel.
Thank you, Dr. Wexler. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Blessings. Before we close, I want to speak from the heart. We stand with Israel and as Christians because we believe God calls us to do so. And Scripture makes it clear that God still has a plan, He still has a purpose, and He still has a covenant for the nation of Israel. As believers, the best thing we can do is to align our hearts with His and to care for the things that matters to God. At the core, standing with Israel is all about honoring God. What's happening there today is not by chance, and I'm not just talking about the conflict. I am talking about 1948, the 14th of May. A nation being reborn, Jewish people coming back to their homeland, and everything that has happened since. God is revealing Himself to the world through this nation. I love Ezekiel 36 verses 22 and 23, actually just the whole chapter. But in there, God says, I do not do this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake. How amazing is that? That God says, I'm doing everything in Israel so that the world will know that I am God. So when you look at Israel today, it's not just because of this nation that you see and everything that is happening just by chance. It is a God that has planned and orchestrated everything, and He is showing the world that He is God through this nations. It continues in Ezekiel. It says, and the nations shall know that I am the Lord, when I am hallowed in you before their eyes. Today, as we look on Israel, God is showing us that He is on the throne. And I love that old song that says, He's got the whole world in His hands. I'm not going to sing it to you, but He's got the whole world in His hands. And He has a special place in there for Israel as well. And it's all to do with showing us that He is on the throne. And at Bridges for Peace, our mission is to share God's heart for Israel and to align with His purposes.
And all throughout this time, you might have been wondering, but what can I do? And there is something for you to do. There's so much you can be a part of. You can join our active field network and attend future webinars just like this. You can be a part of our national prayer team for Israel. You could host or attend a Reveal forum putting a spotlight on Israel. We can help you connect to a tour to Israel. If you're a pastor, we can help connect your church, or if you're not a pastor, we can help connect your pastor with Bridges for Peace initiatives. And any way that you can connect to the work that we are doing in Bridges for Peace, we would love to share with you how we can serve you and the variety of opportunities we have for you and your congregations to be involved with. If you would like to volunteer with us in Israel, you would be welcome to do so. You can explore our young adult tour and project that is happening very soon starting. You can support our projects and give towards all that we are doing. So much more. Those are just a few things to say join us. Join us today and participate in the work that we are accomplishing in Israel, here in the U.S., all for the glory of God.
Yeah, what a mouthful of just things that we can share.
Right.
And like you say, there's just so much
There
more.
is a lot.
So with all that, we just want to say thank you so much for watching. We're glad you joined us. Let's close with a word of prayer.
Father, thank you so much that you are God, you are on the throne,
Amen.
and you call us to be a part of the work that you are doing in Israel, specifically on the ground in the land, but also here in the U.S. I pray that you will unite our hearts around this common goal, all for your glory, your honor. We pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Blessings.